It's me, Percita, and this is Percita's Paradox. It is Thursday. I am stoked. What a fantastic week it has been. I don't know about you, but I'm super excited about this month. It is just starting off to be fantastic. So, in saying all that, I hope that this video meets you in bliss and happiness and prosperity and all those other good things. If you're new to this channel, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to make it sweet and short and all those other good things. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification button, any other thing I need to say to make you keep this channel thriving, just add that in right there. And as far as all of my OGs, you know I absolutely appreciate you. Thank you as always for tuning in every single week to make this channel work. So here we are. You know what I want to talk about? And I'm super excited to talk about it, which is probably why I am rambling and feeling really over the top about it, because I have literally really figured out what my biggest hang up has been for the last year and a half. And this is going to sound crazy. Pretty much all of my life. I mean, I would say most will be able to relate to it as soon as I say it, but really owning the fact that I just haven't done what I needed to do in this area. And you know what that area is? It is in really choosing and picking the type of people that I really want to be around. And you might say, well, Percita, you talk about environment all the time. I do. But I really have a new grasp of what I mean by what I'm saying. And what I'm saying is that we have a tendency to really want to be around people. And sometimes you can get caught up because it is always nice to be the one that, you know, everyone looks up to, or the top, or, you know, let's say the Beyonce in the group, since I'm a female. But you know what I learned about that is that it's definitely a space that you can be in and you want to be in and you enjoy being in. But even on the top, you want to find a way to actually figure out a way to learn more. And it's very complicated when you're around people who are not really trying to make that happen. But it's even worse when you get around people who are also trying to be great, but you both are kind of in a lateral place, right? So what I mean is that we typically talk about the person that we need to get away from because, well, not get away from, because I don't want to make it sound like that, but you just want to be, you know, able to have like a different variety of friends. But what I'm starting to understand is that you really have to be conscious of like where your time is really going. So you want to not have to feel as if you're not really able to bounce your stuff off of people. Like-mindedness is really important, but what's really important is to actually have someone who can understand and laterally move with you, but also drag you, if necessary, to your next destination. And I will tell you that I am one that will always say in video after video, make sure you're around the right people. Your environment is everything, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And I've said it till I couldn't say it anymore. But I would say that I still found myself trying to always help. Who else has that issue, right? Where you just find yourself knowing what I just said, but it just seems like everybody around you is just always in need of help. And it's not as if you don't want to help, because no one wants to feel like you're not helping people. But my God, I don't know if we're really going to be honest with ourselves with this statement, but it really comes a time and a place where you really just can't help anymore because you just don't have enough of you to help. You really have to get to where you're trying to go. And again, I've said that. But what makes it different for me in this state of my place of life is that it's really like, it's really not something that is always happy or always sad. It's not, you know, something that you really want to be in a space of like, you know, well, so-and-so only wants to talk about this, and I want to talk about this, so I want to be around this type of a person. It's the type of person that is really as balanced and as neutral and as peace-centered as you are. So it's really being in a space where you can be everything you need to be around someone or someone's, plural, that understands the vibe, the energy, and all of that, but they're not in competition. They're not upset if you're actually growing. They're not upset if you're growing before they're growing, because they understand that there's something that's going to happen in regards to them. Hell, even being around a person that you can team up with, because I've always said that there's going to be situations in life where you need an individual to team up with because your blessing is bigger than you. And I'm just really starting to understand that I'm tired of like saying those words. I've said it to you, I've said it to myself, and every single time I find myself falling susceptible to worrying about something that I don't need to worry about, or feeling overwhelmed and wanting to pull myself back into some space of, I want to say mediocrity, because that's really not what I'm trying to really exude, but more of an attitude of everybody just has a thing of looking great. And I'm just really starting to see the difference between looking great and having a sustenance of greatness. And I think that's really what I'm trying to like push when I'm saying being around different people, because it's really not just the money or the whatever, right? It's really like the core sustenance of the person. And then you start to feel different, even when things aren't really going your way, even when life isn't really in a position of really being favorable to you, right? But you're around the type of person that just ain't giving up, right? Just ain't like completely falling, I don't know, face first into this wallowing place of like constantly starting over. And you want to be in a space where you understand that everyone has a moment. That's not the problem. The problem is how long do you stay in the moment and how many times do you allow yourself to go back to the same moment, right? So I don't know. I mean, I'm learning. I definitely think some of my friends are learning. I think, it's a place where some are, I feel like, are growing with me and some are growing apart. You can't really like do anything about that. You just kind of have to allow it to be whatever it's going to be. And even that can be crazy because I'm definitely a fixer. Most people like myself are fixers and we really don't want to do that. But my God, I mean, just what day is this? This is like the what? 8th day, 9th day? Like, what is this? Whatever this day is in the month of August, I'm already feeling strong, right? I mean, like super strong, not strong in the sense of I'm conquering everything, strong in the sense of I feel equipped to conquer it. I feel equipped to sustain it. I feel equipped to hold the fort down. I feel equipped to keep the door closed if that's what I need to prevent the flood. It's like I just feel equipped. And I think that has a lot to do with just the entity of just changing my weekly narrative, changing my daily narrative, changing who I bounce what information off of. It is key to know who to call at what time of your life. And I just really will say that for the most part, I hadn't really had a lot of people that could really bounce a lot of things off of me back to myself, if that makes any sense. It's kind of like you want to be the manifester of greatness, but sometimes it's hard to get people to be able to bounce greatness back to you. And, don't cry me a river, because I'm definitely not the type of person that's going to say that would sustain or break me, but I will be the first to say that it is a beautiful feeling when you find it, though. It's kind of one of those entities of like, if you don't know that there's icing on a cake and the cake is just delicious, then you say, this cake is so good, I don't even need icing. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like a position where you don't really know it's necessary, or it just brings that je ne sais quoi to like that last piece of delicious cake. And then you just slap like the best homemade icing on top and you find yourself going, that is actually what's been missing. And again, you don't always get it often. It's not something that I'm going to tell you that, you just have a person that you can just dial up. Because this opportunity that's happened for me, this is definitely not something that I could tell you that I would readily have access to. And I'm readily accessible to some pretty affluent people in my life on a daily. But to be able to speak life into me, for someone to take the time to actually do that back, it's absolutely something I cannot explain. So I just wanted to come and tell you that because, you know what I say. You hear it. You know why you're here. You know why you follow me. You know why you enjoy or, basically come on to see what I'm doing to hate on it. Either way, you know who I am and who I've been on these videos. So I'm just perpetuating all of that information back to you to say, I have finally met someone who was able to speak it back to me. And for me, that's been a long time coming. Absolute long time coming. And there is nothing better than to have an affirmational conversation with someone who did not have to take the time to do it, but who did, who can see things in you that only you thought you could see, and who can speak that life right back into you. So again, I am overjoyed. I am completely blessed, completely humbled, completely irrefutably fulfilled in something that I definitely needed and desired and longed for. And it is absolutely the best feeling in the world to actually have that manifest. So like I said, I just wanted to really come on board today and tell you, like, you have no idea what your life is going to be, right? We have an idea of what we think we want it to be, but being flexible in it, being in a position where you understand that if your basics are right, it's kind of like a wardrobe. If you have the proper basic foundational pieces, you can pretty much put anything and everything together. You can pretty much spin as many different looks and as many different vibes as you want. You can pretty much walk through your wardrobe and be in whatever genre of design and fashion you want to be in. But when you don't, when you're missing something and you're longing to get it and you know that you need it and then you finally get it, that's pretty much the way I can tell you that my week has gone thus far, and I am blessed by it. So I just had to come on board and say, within all of this conversation, I hope that I am what I received to someone on this video. I hope that someone who may be going through something can listen to one of my videos and say, you know what? Thank you, Percita, because I absolutely needed that. That's the piece that I needed. That's the garment that I needed in my wardrobe, using that metaphor. You're bringing that something to me, because truthfully, if I'm not doing that, then everything that I'm doing is pretty much null and void. Everything that I'm trying to be about is null and void. Everyone wants to be important. Everyone wants to be known. Everyone wants to be famous. But I have this one little piece that I could say that I don't know if everybody shares. And that thing that I'm talking about is I really want to be effective. I really want to be important to your purpose. I really want to be a piece of the puzzle that fulfills whatever the destiny is that you're seeking, can assist you to get to. I really want to be the type of person that when I pass away, that I'm spoken about in a manner that people said, she brought something to my life. Not the person that is just cute or wealthy or yapping at the jaws, or who didn't live what she said, or who was not authentic, or who did not have a true loving spirit, or who just didn't understand that when you get any sense of a platform, you want to be the best you can be. So I say that because I am really caught up this year on that. I'm really caught up on making sure that my purpose is really being seen and heard and expressed. I'm really caught up in being conscious that we live in a community and that everything that I do will and can affect someone else. So if I'm not bringing that to you, I am absolutely telling you that that just won't work for me. So there you have it. There's my big statement within myself. This channel has to be something. It has to have a purpose. It has to have sustenance. It has to be more than just, giggles and the other word. It has to be more. So that's what I hope I bring to you. As always, remember to do 3 things. Live life authentic. No matter what the season, no matter what you're feeling, no matter what comes your way, live life authentic. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend. I will see you next week. Be blessed. Bye-bye.